would you like to introduce yourself? Assalamualaikum. Hello guys, how are you today? Here, I will review movie, but firstly, I would like to introduce myself. I am Anissa Nurul Hanifah. In this opportunity, I would like to present about the review movie. The title is Front of the Class. Director Peter Werner, writers Thomas Rickman and Brad Cohen, producer Andrew Gottlieb, and stars James Wolk is very handsome, yes. Treat Williams, Patricia, Heaton, Dominic, and etc. And released on 2008. Duration 96 minutes. And then, so let's go to the story this movie. What's your feeling if you are born and a syndrome sufferer? Yes, that was happened to Brad Cohen. He was diagnosed suffer a Tourettes Syndrom when he was 6 years old. Tourette is syndrome that causes a person to be unable to control his voice, starting in the brain, a system of neurons which instruct effector to do something. This syndrome is like sneezing, which is irreversible. And for Brad Cohen, the painful part is how he can explain to everybody that he can control it. Bobo Brad Cohen nickname was very hard to face his childhood. His friend at school called him with many calls, from the pointer and the madman. He didn't have friends, even though Brad was a smart student in the class. This incident continued every time Bobo graduates from school and enters a new school until on the next level. Overall, Brad's mother, played by Patricia, Heaton, is the most influential person in Brad Cohen's life. Before knowing the name of Brad's illness, his mother always worked hard to look at the problem of her oldest child. The Brad's mother struggled and increased when her husband thought that bad condition which was disturbing. So he decided to separate from his wife and children. At school was the hardest for Bobo. He had reading, but he had to read. The syndrome was making him difficult to concentration. Actually, he can did it, but needed more time than the other of syndrome sufferer. If the other sufferer did in an hour, Brad did it in 2 hours and maybe 3. And then adult Brad finally decided that he would become a teacher. Brad began submitting his application to several schools. The file selection stage was always the easiest for Brad, but then at the interview stage, Cohen kicked out more often because the school wanted to hear the sound of this Tourette. This made Brad open up first to school that he had Tourette's Syndrome. By support from his mother, his sister, and Nancy, finally there was a school that would accept Brad Cohen as a teacher. Accepting the abnormalities that Brad had with the second graders, Brad Cohen found his life. He offered his whole life to do the best in school, so that all students like him. Brad Cohen managed to teach Thomas, a stubborn student who had difficulty spelling letters until Thomas liked books. Brad Cohen managed to teach children geography lesson in a love way. This movie was an educational, motivational genre movie directed by Werner, released on 2008. Based on true story, these movies are very touchy and inspiring me as a movie lover. All the casts are really maximal in each skin. I think many good things that we can get from this movie. One of them is the meaning of a support from what I have get. I conclude success is always based on three things. One, encouragement, and two, direction, and the last, acceleration. And the things I will start everything is encouragement. Brad Cohen has an extraordinary mindset where he won't let that thing ruins him. This is all inspirable from the encouragement made by his mother, his sister, and all of his friends. Okay, that is a review movie from me. So thank you for watching. Goodbye. Wassalamualaikum.